the pre-ride show at the Belgian Waffle Ride, and I'm joined with Lindsay Goldman. Welcome.
Hi.
Is this sort of your hometown?
Yeah, I call Oceanside, California a part-time home, and
Okay.
eventually it'll be full-time. So
Okay.
yes, we'll go with yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
All right, so Lindsay, when was the last time you raced your bicycle?
Gateway Cup 2019.
Gateway Cup on this date in 2019.
September 3rd,
Yeah.
2019, 1:34.
1:34
PM.
Clipped in.
Yeah.
How'd that race go for you?
My teammate won.
Awesome.
It was great. We all cried
Cool.
because it was the last race of my team,
Okay.
period, ever,
And Lindsay, you have a long history here in cycling.
of crying.
And of crying
Of
and
crying.
getting, we won't cry on this show. There's been no tears on this show yet. Maybe after
Yet.
tomorrow. Yet.
Yes.
After the race, when I check in with everyone, there'll be lots of tears.
Yeah.
But what you did in a short span of time for women's cycling, I think you started in about 2011. One of your big breakouts was the North Star Grand Prix.
Yes.
The Talent ID amateur team that we raced on together. And coming from that time, you helped build the Hagens Berman, the Supermint
Yes.
women's cycling team that raced at the UCI level. And tell us a little bit about that process.
It was hard. It was interesting. I filled out an application for this mentorship program through a VC that I really loved the other day. And one of the things was, what's the biggest thing you've done in your career?
Okay.
And I had to think about that. And then I ended up going with the team because it feels like that's probably the biggest thing in terms of just time, volume, effort, and kind of that defining moment. It was awesome. It was 4 seasons, so 4 years of running it. And I learned a lot, more than I think I'll ever learn anywhere else, just because it's so hard to run a team at the international level. I raced on it. That probably was also challenging. And just managing sponsors, riders, staff, logistics. It's always something. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and be like, water bottles. I forgot to order water bottles, or some terrifying, horrible panic attack. And anxiety is my normal frequenry to begin with. So it was always somebody's on fire, and riders are really difficult. So every year someone would get fired. Every race somebody would cry. We did a tally at one point. It was something like 84% of the race days that year somebody had cried. I only was 98% of those. But it was awesome. And in the end, it feels like it was a really cool experience. And then there's been a few women who have come to me since that time and talked about wanting to do something similar with their own team. So it's cool to see that kind of legacy continue, where riders transition into trying to run their own programs and build something cool themselves.
Awesome. And since you've gone through it, you have a little bit of a template, and to be able to share that, kick that down for some of these other teams is pretty awesome. You know, and I know you call it the dearly departed Supermint team. And to close it out in 2019, I know when you exited that race, you said, I'm not retiring, I'm just doing different things.
Yes.
And here you are racing again, and knowing you very well, I know that you did not sit around and not train. So through your pregnancy, you have a lovely young daughter.
I also have a toddler named Caroline.
Yeah, I have a toddler named Caroline. We don't know where she is right now. She's in the venue. But you trained on your trainer every single day up until probably past your due date, right? As far as you are,
Yes.
I don't feel as if the pandemic put you on the couch.
No.
What were you doing for your riding?
I just rode a lot. So at the time, when the pandemic first started, it was literally the weekend I was supposed to do Mid-South.
Okay.
And I pulled the plug on going 90 minutes before I was supposed to leave for the airport.
Yeah.
But I was like, this just doesn't feel right. This is getting big. And then that weekend it got really big.
Yeah.
So from there, it was still maybe events will happen. I was registered for Unbound. So it was kind of well, I'll keep fit, just in case. Because you don't want the event to happen and you've been sitting around waiting and not training. But then when everything got pushed, I just became the group ride champion of the Southwest. Until I flamed out really hard in October. And my coach was like, you are slightly overcooked since you're crying right now on the phone from group rides. So then I reset for this year. And then a month ago, I was like, there's no way I'm doing BWR. That's just not happening. That looks dumb. And then 3 weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to do it. It's going to be so great. And here I am. And now I'm back to that was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you hit on some really great things as far as the group ride burnout. The group rides, it can be very, very challenging, much more intense than even some of our elite level racing. right? And going to that, like you have opportunity, when you're in the Arizona, you're in Tucson, correct? Part of the time?
Scottsdale.
In Scottsdale.
And
I
then
mean,
here.
You could do
it's
group
like
ride. Yeah, you could literally be the group ride hero.
Yeah, and I was until then I was the group ride 0, and it's like I'm in the middle of the pack going backwards, being like, why are people riding away from it? And like honestly crying. Like there were points where I'd pull out and text my coach and be like, I just can't go on anymore. And then I would do it the next day, being like, it's gonna be different this time. It wasn't.
It wasn't. Well, and I'm glad you have that. You know, we always look at having that, like, we want to have the our support system, right? And having our like your Fab Five, that your performance team, right? And even outside of racing, you had stepped away from racing and you maintained this structure, right? And you've always been very structured with your training and committed to your fitness. So coming here, I think, is a great step to be like, hey, you know, you might not have to have all those race starts in order to be a contender. You know, your freshness of it, being able to take kind of that natural break of what you would have taken can be really helpful. And, you know, throughout your career on racing as a professional road cyclist, one thing we always saw you do, you would go for jerseys. And whether that's at the Virginia races of like, I'm going to go for the most combative rider, the aggressive rider, but we were able to see you do that on the big stage, right? Tour California, you're along the Pacific Coast Highway, and there's Lindsay going solo, getting that most combative jersey. You know, that, but it elevated your team, it elevated your stature, it elevated what you're capable of. So, which jerseys tomorrow at the Belgian Waffle Ride are you going for?
Oh, I loathe to actually say this out loud, but I'm going for the yellow jersey.
Okay, good.
So my entire road cycling career was like a testament to going for the most likely to die alone in the wind jersey.
Okay.
And I'm not a true climber, I'm not a sprinter, and I'm not really like an all-around GC rider. So I was generally a domestique, or I would bring attention to the team by doing attacks and doing things that would earn those types of jerseys. But at some point it would be nice to actually earn like a finish instead of a festive shirt. So for this one, it's terrifying to even say it out loud, because I feel like, oh my God, if I say I want to win and then I come in 10th, everyone will be like, you failed. But then I realized, honestly, in the grand scheme of life, nobody cares. True. So I can say out loud, like, I want to win this, and you will probably not hate me and judge me if I come in 11th.
Not at all. And Lindsay, it's if you say it, you believe it, right? And putting it out, like, put it out there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I believe it.
You're gonna like be writing it on your mirror tonight. Yellow jersey, yellow jersey.
I have a journal that's 500 pages of I will win, I will win, I will win. There's nothing wrong with her.
No, but it's you have to put it out there into the ether, right? And just be like, here we go. Like, let's try to win it. You know, you have plenty of like sprint jerseys. You have plenty of you know, the like aggressive rider jerseys, right? You have
most heroic, most courageous, most aggressive, last place.
They have the kudos award here. There's one you don't want. I think it's purple, and it means you didn't help anyone. Like you just sat on and never took a pull.
I was gonna say something inappropriate, but I'll filter.
Yeah, you cannot get that jersey.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be really fun to see.
That's the jersey I'm going for.
Yeah, the do no work jersey. But I think there's a lot of opportunity for you on a course like tomorrow, and you know, I think it's going to be exciting to see you back in action, and I think this is a fun environment. You know, it's going to be fun for Josh and your daughter to hang out. And
they're not coming.
They're not. Well, they're here today.
We negotiated. I was like, do you want me to take the car? I'll drive myself, and then at the finish I'll drive home. He's like, yeah, that works. But that's racing with a toddler.
It is. And you know, the other thing, I think you're the only lady I've interviewed that has a kid. Oh. And not that it's not a good or a bad thing, but it's just different. As a fellow mom, our life is very different.
Before I came here, I was doing animal puzzles, and in the car we brought our doctor kit, our plastic doctor kit. Yeah. Okay. And we wanted to wear our Anna dress, our Anna from Frozen. If people don't know that,
they don't know.
If you don't have a child, you don't know that. If you do, that's all you know. But yeah. Parenting.
Run it. Yeah. Parenting. And you're doing a great job balancing it, and always had a flourishing career, you know, outside of cycling and momming. And so I'm just really happy you're here. Kind of give it a go.
Oh, I hope I'm happy too. I'm sweating out of every orifice. Like, can we just dry me off?
Yeah. We got a good coastal breeze for you. All right, we're good. I told you she'd be good.